Hello, CFA Nation. Yes, CFA, you have been nation. Cricket for Americans here. Gabe.
Nick, in the
And
land of the CFA.
we are here today to review or do a review or a discussion of a video that Nick sent me. And to me, it was pretty cool because it included former Yankee Didi Gregorius, who actually took over. Let me tell you how special this guy is. He took over for Derek Jeter, which is not an easy job. Derek Jeter is one of the greats of baseball. His number got retired, which it's hard to do as a Yankee because we already got so many numbers
I was going to
retired.
say, all the Yankees numbers get retired. You guys are running out of numbers.
Yeah, we're running out of numbers. That's how many great players we've had. And he was able not just to come in and take the job, and people are angry at me when I say it, but Didi Gregorius actually had one year that was better than Derek Jeter. And people are like, what? Check the record. Okay, this dude had a monster year. He hit like 290, almost 300. He had like 25 bombs, 25 stolen bases. Defensively, he was amazing that year. And it's like blasphemous for me to say that because Derek Jeter was so good for so long. But he's a humble cat. I remember watching Didi Gregorius play in the World Baseball Classics. This is back when he was an Arizona Diamondback, and thinking, man, this kid is nice. Now he plays for
the Phillies now.
Netherlands.
He just got signed.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, he just got signed by the Phillies.
Yeah, he got signed by the Phillies. He was a Yankee. Now he plays for the Phillies. But for the World Baseball Classics, I used to think he was Dominican. He's not. He plays for the Netherlands. He was born in Dutch. He's Dutch, actually. So I think he was born in Amsterdam. I can't remember if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, to make a long story short, he's on this video that you sent me, along with another cricket great. And the title of the video is Baseball versus Cricket. And yeah, it's Didi Gregorius and Martin Guptill, who's New Zealand's backstop. Black cap star, and he's a cricketer. So they're both in the video, and they both are going into each other's world. So in this discussion, we're going to talk about how, as much as our fans, especially Boring Reviews, yell to the top of their heads, there's no similarity to baseball and cricket. Here's a professional cricket player, okay, a star for the Black Caps. Here's a star for baseball, and they're both in there like, man, this ain't that different, okay? It's very, very, very similar. And right away, it was funny because I saw this video and another video we'll be reviewing as well. And they're both shortstops, Francisco Lindor, Didi Gregorius, which makes sense because those are the most athletic people on the team. Now, I'm not sure what position Martin plays, but usually the most athletic person on the team can play any sport. Okay, that's just how it works. And, usually in baseball, it's either the center fielder or the shortstop. They're always the most athletic kids. I remember as a coach, and we're talking Little League now, we let kids go out there. This is tryouts, right? Kids take 3 swings. Kids get 3 ground balls. Kids get 3 fly balls. I don't care what your swing looks like. I can teach you that. I don't care if you catch the ball. I want to see your athleticism. Can you get to the spot where you're supposed to be? And without knowing anything else, Nick, that's how we choose. Yep, that kid's going to play shortstop. That kid's going to play center. No joke, okay? And that's just the reality about it. Normally, athleticism translates. So that was one of the things right away that I noticed about both of those videos that we're going to be reviewing. Both players, or both baseball players that are now, attempting to play cricket, are both shortstops. What did you pick up from it?
Yeah, so first and foremost, like he said, this is not a reaction. This is just a discussion, like it says in the title. When it says discussion, that means there's no video. We are just talking about it. And I thought the same thing. I also watched a video called Cricket versus Baseball Sports Science, and we had Mark Reynolds, and we had another cricketer that actually played for the U.S. cricket team, going basically both trying each other's sports. And it's interesting because in that one, the same thing was basically said as in this video. So when Didi Gregorius is up there with the club and he's getting bowled the balls to him, he's able to pick it up somewhat quickly. Now the guy's not going full speed. The guy's just kind of like giving him some like BP. But, the cricketer himself, Martin, I think his name was, He's like, yeah, the sports are so similar that you're able to pick up because some of the skills which are going to translate, and you're able to pick up this. Now, they did focus, I think, on the other video a lot on how in baseball you have your back elbow up, you have that bat somewhat straight, and then in cricket you lead with your front arm, and you want to go like this with your front arm and lead that club. And so there's some differences with how you stand, and in the Lindor video we'll also talk about that. But I just thought it was hilarious that in both these other videos about cricket versus baseball, they said they're both very similar in a lot of ways. And I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was interesting how Lindor or Didi Gregorius, my man, he was able to pick up that and hit those pretty good. And the interesting thing in the sports science video, get this, is when the cricketer was given 20 pitches at 80 miles per hour. Now, that's fast, but that's below standard in Major League Baseball. 20 pitches. He was only able to hit, I think, 2 of them. Right. So 10% of the time. When Mark Reynolds was given 20 bowling pitches, and they had that same U.S. cricketer bowl the ball to him 20 different times, and he got a running start, but not much of a running start, but he still was throwing it somewhat good. Mark Reynolds was able to hit 14 out of 20, 70% of them. He was able to translate his skills as a batter into cricket. It's super interesting because, like Gabe said, we have gotten destroyed so many times by so many people saying, how dare you compare the two sports? They are so different. One guy, and I've heard this a few times, I don't even know why anyone compares them. They are so different. Like, we see what we see. There's a lot of similarities. There's a guy with a bat of some type trying to hit a ball of some type. There's a guy throwing that ball to him in some way. I mean, how is that not similar? You have fielding. You have different elements. And in the sports science video, it was really cool because it talked about their recommendation. I'm curious how our cricket audience feels about this. Comment below. But their recommendation on sports science was that in baseball, you're looking at the whole pitcher and where they're at and where their arms being released and the ball coming in. You got to react really quickly. Right. They recommend in cricket, you don't even worry about the bowler. You look at the spot you look at the ground where it's going to bounce. You can pick it up off the ground and then hit it that way and be able to lead it in whatever direction you want. I'm curious how our cricket audience feels about that. Is that a technique? Obviously, you want to know when the bowler's coming at you, but do you look more at the bounce of the ball in the dirt? Now, not all balls bounce. A lot of them do. So I thought that was interesting. But I mean, my biggest takeaway was that both athletes were able to translate into both. But I want to say the baseball player was able to better translate in these 2 videos I watched than the cricket player was able to translate into baseball with the skinnier bat, with a ball coming straight at you, not bouncing, going a little faster. I thought that was super interesting.
Yeah, it's funny, right? As I'm watching the video, and one of the things that they mentioned is how you have to translate leverage. But the thing is that with baseball, since you're not really protecting the plate, you don't have to necessarily lead, or I should say necessarily worry about protecting the wickets, which is why you see those guys in cricket not really take those aggressive swings, because then you're leaving yourself open to those stumps being knocked over. Where in baseball, whatever, if I take a big hack, it's just a strike. It's not a big deal, right? And one of the things that I saw in the video was with the bouncing of the ball. At first, Didi was looking at the ball, you know what I mean, when it was coming at him, when they were throwing at him, and then he himself, that is funny that you mentioned that, started picking up, oh no, I got to look at the ground to see where it's going to bounce so that then I can go for the swing. So it's all timing. Whether it's cricket or baseball, it's timing, getting that timing down, getting those repetitions down. Remember we were talking about Steve Smith in our review of the test, right? Steve Smith, they talk about how this guy was a madman, how this guy carries his his cricket bat everywhere, awesome. And his wife keep throwing to him. And why? Because it's about repetition. It's about getting that timing down. Guess what? Derek Jeter, who Didi Gregorius replaced, one of the stories about him was until his last game, reporters knew if you want to have a press conference with Derek Jeter before a game, you got to get there 2 hours early, because an hour before the game, he's underneath and the cages taking 500 swings. That was his ritual from game 1 till his very last game that he played in his Yankee uniform, 20 years. That's what he did. Why? Because repetition is the mother of learning in baseball and really in any sport, muscle memory. And that's so different. I mean, so similar to Steve Smith, even when he's home on his downtime. Okay, baby, bowl me some bowls so that I can, keep my swing. It's the same thing. You just need that repetition. And I think the last thing about this video that I found really, really, really interesting was how they're trying to promote baseball. That was why what they were doing it. They're trying to promote Didi again, super big star. And to me, I'm like, why are they trying to promote baseball? Why wouldn't it be the other way around? Them trying to promote cricket here in America? Because, you got the World Baseball Classics, where you've got a whole bunch of teams from all over the world, excuse me. Baseball has been in the Olympics. And I would think that cricket could use a bigger audience, but then I realized that really cricket's just not big here in America, but it's already big globally. But going back to a point I made before, okay, and actually, I don't think I've actually said this on a video. This was in one of our Patreon chats, right? Why aren't there more cricket players here in America? Why isn't cricket better? Because it's just not marketed out here and it's not in the schools. But now that we see that baseball and cricket pretty much are similar and the skills translate, would it not behoove these colleges and these high schools to get cricket programs started so we could start feeding the U.S. National team with better players and give other kids opportunities who may have not been able to cut it in baseball? There's only so many scholarships to go around, but hey, he got a shot in cricket. Like, I don't understand why these universities are dragging their feet, man. It's a revenue stream. It's a revenue stream.
I got an idea on how they can make cricket big in America right now. And that's to get some guys together and play some games right now and televise, because there's nothing else. Can you imagine, like, if they televise on ESPN, how many eyes would be glued to the screen and how many instant conversations? What's cricket? What's going on? What is this? What is that? I mean, that would be insane. Now, it would also be almost, career suicide, because you're going to get all the backlash of how dare you guys do this, just try to make some money. But, I mean, could you imagine this would be the best time to do it, to be able to organize something?
Bro, no joke. ESPN the other day was televising the very first Korean, I think it's in the Korean baseball game, and literally they did like playoff baseball numbers, because people you're right, are so hungry for sports. I don't care if it's Korean baseball, I'm gonna watch. I need to watch baseball. I need to watch sports. It's so bad here in Vegas, no joke. And I'm gonna send you something so you can clip to this video of I think we can clip these, whatever. But people are betting on table tennis. The sportsbook are putting up things like table tennis and badminton, and you know what I mean? It's like insane. Like, sports it doesn't matter what sport it is. It's competition. People love watching people compete. It makes you feel young yourself. It reminds you of when you used to compete. So you're right. If cricket ever wants to take an opportunity, right now is the time. Get some games on there. And again, there's a U.S. cricket team. Why aren't they, hey, ESPN, run some of our old games, okay? Run some of our old runs, even if we're not winning. Just to get some eyes on it. Guys are going to watch the sports. You can only watch these old reruns of games you've already seen so many times. You know the outcome. Give them something different. But that's just my 2 cents. I think that this video proves it, and Nick's gonna put a link to the video below, and it's several videos that have compared the two sports, cricket and baseball. The two have similar skills. Okay. As a matter of fact, did you notice that in the test, the very first episode of the test, what are they using to catch the balls when they're throwing it back?
The catcher's mitt?
They're using baseball catcher's mitts, and they're using outfielder gloves. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? Come on.
Not just that, but Martin, in this video, he mentions that a lot of former cricket players have gotten into watching baseball and gotten into playing baseball. And, again, it's interesting, because there's a lot of, on our other channel, Boring Reviews, in some of our cricket videos, there's a lot of passion and sometimes ill-advised passion for how much better cricket is in baseball. There's this competition that me and you have not created. We're just learning about cricket, and we love baseball. We've never once said one's better than the other. Right. But there's just so much, like, defensiveness for cricket is so much better. Or baseball is a baby's game. And it's like, let's watch these videos. We have the links below. Look at these guys who are playing cricket and see what they say about it. There are some similarities. Obviously, there's some differences. Look out for our next video when we discuss about Francisco Lindor, who's a baseball player, playing some cricket and getting some batting in a cricket cage with the cricketer, a few of them actually. We're going to have that video coming out pretty soon, so watch for that. Let us know how you're liking the discussions. We know there's not a video to react to, but this really protects our channel in a lot of ways. Let us know how you're feeling about it. Don't forget to check out these videos below. And until next time.
That's 6 runs.